What's up, nail geeks? I am coming in hot this month for polish pickup August 2021. This month we have the theme, the 4 elements. I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet, but I just wanted to say I am still having my giveaway even though it is Wednesday. It will be open until tomorrow, Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So just leave a comment below and you'll be entered in to win one of 10 $10 PPU gift codes. So I'm not going to babble anymore. Let's dive right into the swatches. First up is 1422 Designs. This is Life in Rosy Hues, described as a white curly polish with violet shimmer, purple hollow glitter, pink hollow glitter, and blue to gold to lime purple multichrome flakes. This is inspired by a hedge of rose bushes in the maker's childhood neighbor's yard. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of 100 bottles. So this is absolutely a true curly type of formula. There is a bit of a creamy feel, but also a strong squishy factor on application. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest going in for 3 coats on it. Now, I'm going to strongly suggest going in for 3 light coats as this absolutely builds up quite quickly and very plump. So if you choose to stop at the 2nd coat, it's going to give you that more milky sort of effect. But I personally found that the 3rd coat just popped very well and gave me that thickness that I'm really going for. But if you tend to polish quite heavily, you're going to want to make sure to keep that in mind so that you don't overdo it on your coats and then it gets just too much in general on your application. This does dry down flat, so you're going to want to use a glossy top coat. And next is Alchemy Lacquers Tempest. This is described as a dark teal jelly with gold to green to turquoise to blue shifting shimmer. This is inspired by a picture of a storm on the horizon. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. So this has a very jelly sort of metallic finish to it. This is very, very shifty. On the first coat, you can see that nice dusky sort of teal base, but in general, as you build it up, that shifting shimmer takes over everything. Depending on your lighting situation and the angle of your nails, you're going to see lime green, emerald, gold, lots and lots of that nice warmish sort of color family. It does dry down metallic and flat, so I'm going to suggest a glossy top coat. And next is Aurora I See Fire. This is described as a deep blue jelly packed with blue to green shifting multichrome flakes and sprinkled with red to gold shifting flakies. This is inspired by I See Fire by Ed Sheeran from The Hobbit and the Desolation of Smog. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. So this is quite metallic in how it dries down. It's got this strong sort of reflective type factor happening with it. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats. This builds very easily in terms of the fact that it's literally just flakes that are giving you the opacity. And as you can see between the 2nd and 3rd coat, it's popping very well. I think that 3rd coat really makes a difference in terms of how it's going to pop, and the warm color rolled flakes, you can see them very nicely amongst that kind of teal to blue sort of deeper effect of the other types of flakes, if that makes sense. And next is Baroness X, Empedocles on Etna. This is described as a gold metallic based fluid art polish with red to gold flakes. This is inspired by its namesake. Price is $11.50 and there is no cap on it. So this is fluid art. I think at this point you guys know my routine. The tiny little silicone mat that I'm doing this on, you can grab from Baroness X's website, and it makes fluid art very, very easy and manageable because it's small, and in a moment you'll see I'm able to manipulate the design really easy because of the size of the mat that I'm working on. So you can basically use any type of polish with fluid art polishes. Again, you guys know the drill at this point, especially those of you who stick around for my polish pickup videos. I just make lots and lots of layered blobs and then slowly drag it out with a water marbling tool or really any type of tool. And as you go, if you run out of polish, then you can go in and just add some more. This is very forgiving. There's no right or wrong way, if you ask me, because depending on your technique, you're going to get larger cells or smaller cells. And just the way that I do it, I've noticed that I typically get smaller cells. I haven't really figured out how to get those large, really big, bubbly sort of cells. But at the end of the day, it's just trial and error. So again, no right and wrong way. And you can use any sort of colors. Personally, I would recommend creams along with the fluid art polish that are less viscous. You don't want them to be too thick because it's going to be hard for them to run on whatever surface you are working on. Now, if you don't want to grab a mat like this of some type, I have also found that parchment paper works really well for making these decals too, and it's more of a everyday object you'll have around your place. Now here I'm going in and showing you guys you can absolutely wear fluid art polishes on their own. They don't really behave any differently in my opinion versus a normal polish. The only thing that's different is of course if you do the fluid art with them. And for Empedocles, I'm going to suggest 2 coats. This is a true, what I consider at least, a true gold flaky sort of finish. And there's those little reddish to orange to somewhat green shifting flakes speckled in there as well. So this has that very much metallic sort of dry down to it. So again, you're going to want to finish with a glossy top coat. And you can see on my ring and pinky finger, after letting that decal dry down for about 40 minutes, what it looks like when you can just cut it up and apply it to your nail directly. And Baroness X is also bringing us Acetone Antidote this month. This month's bottle is quite large. This is 1 ounce. It is $8 and there is a cap of $2.75. The scent is Casa Pacifica. This absolutely has a ocean wave sort of feel to it. It's really hard to describe this scent. It's very interesting. It's really spa-like, if you ask me. I'm digging these giant bottles because I do like to go in with a dropper. I typically put 3 to 4 drops in my little dapping dish because if I'm honest, I'm not wearing polish for myself these days. It's just for swatching, and this is mostly how I'm using Acetone Antidote. I'm just applying it to my dapping dish with pure acetone, and it's perfect for cleanup, for swatching without drying out my cuticles. And by Dany Vianna brings us Starry Sky. This is a sheer blue base with holographic flakes and a mix of yellow, blue, and black glitters in different sizes and shapes. This is inspired by Starry Night by Van Gogh. Price is $13 and there's a cap of $600. This one is another really interesting one. There's a couple in this video that I was like, wow, that's different, and I'm really digging it. When I reviewed Dany's last collection, I believe it was May, she had this topper for those stars that you're seeing here. They were gold stars, if I'm not mistaken, and I loved that topper. It's awesome, and it's not very often I work with glitters that are in actual like shapes outside of circles or squares that behave, and I mentioned to her that I was very impressed with that. And she was like, I love it too. That's, it's why I released it. And I'm really excited to see that this is an actual polish as well, because just the combination of the base color to this and the stars, it's amazing. So I'm going to suggest 3 light coats on this one. If a visible nail line bugs you and you have a prominent one, then you might want to go in with a color correcting base coat. But I consider myself having a prominent free edge, and I really didn't see a problem with that going in for 3 coats. On your 3rd coat, you are going to want to do a bit of careful placement with those stars and finish off with a glitter smoothing top coat underneath your glossy top coat, and you're good to go. Now, Dany Vianna is also bringing us this adorable starfish travel bag, similar to the one from June. And if you enjoyed that one, or if you're looking for a different print, there's this adorable starfish print on this fabric. These are so cute, and I'm really digging them. So they can fit several polishes on the inside. You can put cotton balls and little balm in here. It's really perfect for traveling, and it keeps all your polishes safe, and it's quite roomy for the size of it in general when you seal it back up. So 10 out of 10 recommend. These are really cute, and they're just literally the perfect size if you need to take polish with you anywhere or whatnot, especially if you've got friends and relatives that are like me and they're like always bugging you to do their nails. And next is Cameo Color Lacquers Mystic Waters. This is a soothing dusty mauve full of scattered hollow sparkle and with teal navy violet UCC flakes, blue metallic micro flakes, and silver hollow micro flakes. This is inspired by bioluminescence in bodies of water. Price is $11.50 and there's a cap of $105. So this has a crelly, somewhat leaning more on the jelly side in my opinion, and it builds really nice between 2 to 3 coats. So I took it to 3 coats. I really wanted to see the difference between the 2nd and 3rd coat, and you'll see here in just a moment that it absolutely darkens out that base color, and it offers, in my opinion, once again, more of a flaky finish across your nails. Not that there's any bit of sparseness in this polish. There's so much going on here. Very pretty, and I like that the blue flakes pop very well against that nice dusky purple background. And next is Crystal Knockout, Offerings of Earth. This is described as a light mint green curly with copper shimmer, matte micro glitters in green and pink, blue to gold micro flakes, and metallic chameleon flakes in green to copper to gold and fuchsia. This is inspired by essentially Earth. Price is $11 and there is no cap. So this is absolutely Crelly-like. It's got a very smooth feel on the brush strokes. So it almost, in my opinion, applies like a kind of squishy sort of cream. It's really smooth, which is surprising as this is packed full of flakes, as you can see on that second coat. Now, depending on how you apply, you might be able to get away with 2 coats on it, but I wanted to see, once again, what that third coat's gonna look like. And you can see that I just think it gave more of an oomph factor to that base coat. So definitely your preference, but I think 3 light coats with a glossy top coat is perfect. And next is Cupcake Polish Hydro Pump. This is described as a medium teal leaning blue polish packed with blue to green iridescent flakes and matching blue to green to gold iridescent shimmer. This is inspired by Squirtle, or water if you will. Price is $13 and there is no cap. So the first thing I thought when I opened up my PR package for this specific color is it reminded me of Bathhouse. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one thinking that, but in my opinion, Bathhouse is more aqua than this, if that makes sense. I think this one has more of a blue undertone to it. And if it helps, I did swatch Bathhouse when it released a few months ago during Polish Pickup. So it's definitely out there if you want to compare, especially with similar lighting situations for my videos. And next is Cuticula Dragon Glass. This is described as a blackened amethyst base with shifting glass flakes in blue, green, and pink variances. This is inspired by the element of fire with dragons. Price is $12.50 and there is no cap. So this has a very jelly-like formula to it. As you build it up and finish off with a glossy top coat, it will give you this lovely, juicy sort of appearance. You'll see it in a moment when I top coat that it just has that nice squishy jelly appearance. Now for opacity, I'm going to suggest going in for 3 coats on this one. If you polish on the heavier side, you might want to stop at 2 coats, but I think going in lightly with this one is going to flatter it the best, as it'll give you the most payoff for the flakes and deepening out that base without getting it too thick on your nails. There is a lot of flakes here, very pretty. It gives you this strong mosaic-like appearance. And speaking of glossy top coats, Cuticula is also releasing her Limitless top coat in the scent Pink Starburst, which will be $9 without a cap. This is a quick dry top coat that leaves you very, very glossy. It's also 5 free, and as you can see here, I like to go in with the beading method and just slowly drag it across your nails. It gives you that nice thickness that I'm always talking about, but also again leaves you very, very glossy. This legit smells like Pink Starburst. It's not too strong, it's very pleasant, and I think this might be one of my favorite scents that Cuticula has come out with. And next is Different Dimension, Sky Above, Sky Below. This is described as a darkened teal jelly loaded with orange to gold to green Aurora shimmers and holographic micro flakes. This one glows bright aqua in the dark. Price is $12 and there is no cap. So this has a very satisfying type formula to it. I'm going to suggest 2 coats on it. Builds up very easy, and this is such a lush color. I typically don't gravitate towards a lot of deeper sort of greens, but this is that type of jewel toned green that I'm really digging, and the shimmer pops very well against it. Now, because this one is a glow in the dark, it's going to dry down quite harsh, and you're going to want to give your bottle a good shake and go in with a very glossy top coat, and you'll see that nice shifty factor with the shimmer and that lovely blue glow in the dark. And DRK Nails brings us PuriFire. This is a violet jelly base mixed with iridescent Aurora pigment. This is a classic revisited. Inspired by fire, price is $13, and there's a cap of 500 bottles. So those of you who are newer to indies, there was a polish by Max Factor called Fantasy Fire. I actually have an OG bottle of it. It's stunning, and I never use it because it's just such one of those rarities, if you will. But this definitely comes very close to it, and the shimmer is very, very strong. I'm actually considering getting a backup bottle of this because I genuinely liked it that much. It's very pretty. Now in our PR information for it, it's recommended you use a water-based top coat as your top layer because this type of ultraviolet pigment will bleed through and it would cause more of a dispersed look to your shimmer. What you're seeing on my full hand shot here and on my swatch video, a quick dry top coat. Unfortunately, I misplaced my water-based top coat, but honestly, I really thought it was still absolutely stunning even without using the water-based top coat. And next is Emily Damali, Fire and Ice. This is described as a bright red base with orange and blue iridescent flakes and black shredded glitter. This is inspired by Chaz Michaels and his fiery performances. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 600 bottles. So this one, honestly, when I wore it, I was like, this is going to be fantastic for Halloween and just the general fall season coming up. It's a very, absolutely true to the description, vibrant type of red, very much on the warmer side. And I really liked that the glowy sort of iridescent flakes really pop very well as a background towards those black flakes. So really, really interesting. Again, this totally had Halloween vibes to me, or maybe I'm just wishing for fall at this point. I'm getting real tired of this really hot weather, but I digress. So I think 2 coats is perfect. Go in light on your first coat and then go in with the topper method on your second coat and you're good to go. And you're going to want to use a very glossy top coat with this one, something a little thicker so that it smooths everything out. And next is Fair Maiden Violet Storms. This is described as a violet gray base with holographic sparkle, rose, shimmer, and pink to gold to green iridescent flakes. This is inspired by a lightning-filled storm sky surrounded by tulips. Price is $11 and there is no cap. So this has a true curly formula to it. It's got a touch of a squish factor, but it also has a bit of a softer sort of feel to it, especially on that first and second coat. So I'm strongly going to suggest going in for 3 coats on it. And there is quite a bit of a sparkle factor that will pop in the sunshine, but in indoor lighting, you're mostly going to see those iridescent flakes against that dusky sort of base color. Now again, I think 3 coats is perfect for it, and then go in with a glossy top coat as this one does dry down on the flat side, but it's not, say, textured or anything, but a good glossy top coat will definitely bring out those sparkles. And Femme Fatale brings us Here I Flow again. This is a bright lime green when warm to brownish black when cold, thermal, packed with red to copper to green, iridescent shifting flakes, and neon yellow matte glitters in various sizes. This is inspired by the Fly Geyser in Nevada. Price is $14 and there's a cap of 370 bottles. So this one's another one that definitely is giving me fall vibes to it, and I can see this one working perfectly for Halloween manis too. Now this is fantastic at 2 coats. Go in with the topper method on the second coat and start off lighter on your first coat and you're good to go, just like what I'm doing on the video here. I didn't have any problems fishing for those glitters. You're going to get quite a bit of them on your brush, so no need for fishing, and I barely had to do any careful placement on that second coat. Now I did use a glitter smoother over the last layer, and then I finished off with a glossy top coat, and you can see everything's nice and smooth and glossy, and really lovely transition between that warm and cold color on the ice shot. And Garden Path Lacquers brings us 8 arms. This is described as a plum curly packed with iridescent metallic gold to green purple shifting flakes, inspired by the cover artwork for the 1997 Veruca Salt album. Price is $13 and there is no cap. So this has a jelly-like formula to it. It's got quite a bit of a squish factor, but it's not so squishy that I would say overdoing your coats is going to be something to be mindful of. I think 3 coats, regardless of how you polish, is going to be perfect, and it absolutely brings out that strong, deep, sort of vampy purple base, and the flakes, I liked how they're mostly of the smaller variety. So it gives you this mosaic effect, but in like a tinier sort of way, if that makes sense. This dries down flat. So again, you're seeing a glossy top coat on my full hand shot here. This is very, very shifty depending on your lighting. And Girly Bits brings us This Girl Is on Pfizer, described as a bright coral orange with hot pink to gold to orange Aurora shimmer and matching pink to gold to orange iridescent color shifting flakes, inspired by the Girl on Fire song by Alicia Keys, and also Pam celebrating her 2nd dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Yay! Price on this one will be $13.50 and there is a cap of 300 bottles. Now this is one of those really shifty, warm color rolled sort of polishes that, depending on your lighting, if you're in shade or if you're in sunlight or indoor lighting, I'm definitely seeing coral, I'm seeing a very warm pink, and I'm seeing a strong orange. So really lovely in that regard. I'm going to suggest going in for 3 coats on it, as this absolutely, like, just going in for that 3rd coat just packs a punch for the shimmer payoff, and it does dry down flat. So you're seeing a glossy top coat. Once again, on my full hand shot, I do think this one also has versatility, especially over darker colors, to be a topper as well. And next is Glisten and Glow Nights at Red Rocks. This is described as a rich burgundy jelly polish loaded with red to orange to pink to gold to green iridescent flakes with hollow micro flakes and a touch of hollow magic. This is inspired by the Red Rocks Amphitheater located in Morrison, Colorado. Price is $12.50 and there is no cap. So this is very much what I would consider a jelly sort of finish, and I'm going to suggest between 2 to 3 coats depending on how you polish. Now, this is one of those burgundies that, if you notice between my 2nd and 3rd coat, it really transforms that base color. So I think some of you may be able to stop at 2 coats if that's your preference, but if you want that really vampy, packing a punch base color, I think that 3rd coat really helps. This is very much packed full of these smaller sizes of flakes, and this is another one that I'm feeling these fall vibes for. You are seeing Glisten and Glow's glossy top coat, which, speaking of, is also going to be available this month for $7.50 with no cap. This is another really excellent quick dry glossy top coat. I've used it quite a bit. You guys know the routine. Does not smear stamps, dries in 2 to 4 minutes, and it leaves you nice and glossy. And you can see on the full hand shot here exactly what that looks like, and it just glossifies everything up. And next is Hearts and Promises, September to Remember. This is a blurple hollow polish loaded with blue shimmer that gives a deep blue finish. This is inspired by the group Earth, Wind, and Fire. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. So this is really pretty. It's one of those blues. Again, I'm just seeing lots of fall vibes here. I mean, I don't think it's just me, but this is definitely what I would consider a gemstone sort of blue. Absolutely a true sapphire in my opinion. And it started off a little bit more on the dusky side, but as you build it up, that blue shimmer just really pops very well. Now, the holographic effect, I'm going to classify this more as one of those softer types of hollows in that the particles are very small. They're absolutely going to rainbow up in the sunlight, but what really captures my attention is that blue shimmer. This dries on flat, so I'd strongly suggest a glossy top coat, and absolutely beautiful on that full hand shot. And Indie by Patty Lopez brings us Simple Beauty. This is described as a pinkish beige crelly base loaded with crystal flakes and red and pink matte glitters. This is inspired by Central Park in the fall. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 250 bottles. So this is what I would consider a almost beige sort of neutral color. It's got this beige milky type of effect to it. And the flakes, whether you're referring to the iridescent ones or the metallic ones that you're seeing kind of on top of that layer, pop very well against it. Now I stopped at 2 coats for this one, even though you can see my smile line, because this does have a strong squishy factor and I did not want to overbuild this one. And Indie by Patty Lopez is also bringing us a topper for IPU this month. This is Gaia, described as a mix of matte glitters and crystal micro flakes, inspired by, of course, Earth. Price is $12, and there's a cap of 250 bottles. So I decided just to wear this one at 1 coat, as I really like the mix of glitters. I think it will look fantastic over any base color. And of course, I do like to wear toppers by themselves like this, and it gives you this nice sort of acrylic sort of finish, if you will. It doesn't have a whole lot of texture to it, so I think any glossy top coat will be perfect. And next is Lemming Lacquer, Blow Me Away. This is described as a medium ocean jelly packed with shifting shimmer in pink to orange to gold to green. This is inspired by a sunset with clouds full of stormy weather. Price is $13 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. So this is very jelly-like in terms of application, and I want to say that it is absolutely very strong on that shimmer factor. So really pretty. Indoor lights and bright lights, you're going to see more of this pinky sort of color roll with it. And at angles, there's an easy gold to green shift too. Now, I'm strongly going to suggest going in for 3 coats on this one. It has a very smooth formula, but that 3rd coat helped to bring that base color out really well and just maximize the shimmer payoff. This dries down semi-flat, so I honestly think any top coat will be perfectly fine with it. And next is Luna Wax Chicken Good, the wax bar. This is 4.3 ounces of wax inspired by the fifth element and Lilu's love of chicken. The scent description to this is smoky vanilla, marshmallows, cookies, and sweet potato souffle. This scent, these types of scents like this, they're very bakery and they're absolutely what got me into indie wax. This smells so good. It's a little bit of that sweet potato smell. It's almost like a pie type scent, if you will. I'm getting a lot of marshmallow and cookies. It's so wonderful. If you are a bakery lover, 10 out of 10 recommend. I will absolutely be picking up another bar of this. And MJ Lacquer brings us Let It Snow. This is a white base with UCC flakes sprinkled with black shreds, green hollow, and chameleon glitters, drizzled with green to teal Aurora shimmer. This is inspired by the water element and the maker's childhood memories growing up in Baltimore. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 175 bottles. So this has a true Crelly formula to it, and for opacity, I'm going to suggest going in light on your coats and going up to 3 coats. You'll see in a moment that the third coat absolutely gives you that opacity, but if you wanted more of a milky finish, I think 2 coats could also work as well. And the base color, I also have to agree with the official description, is what I consider a true white. There's no undertones here. It's absolutely a straight up white base, and I loved the little flakes in here as well as the larger ones. Really nice shredded sort of effect, and you can see on my full hand shot they easily shift between warmer types of olives to more true greens. I'm going to suggest a glossy top coat to finish off with this one too. And next is Nail Artisan Cosmetics Poison Ivy. This is described as a shifty polish that goes from bright green through a smoldering red. This is inspired by its namesake. Price is $13.50 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. So this is something else. If you like shifty polishes, 10 out of 10 recommend. It's very intense. Now, as you build it up, I think the shimmer just takes over everything, and indoor lights, you're going to see this beautiful reddish cast. There's a touch of burgundy depending on your lighting, and I'm also seeing quite a bit of gold and a strong green at angles. I'm also going to suggest 3 coats on this one, and as you can see, it is just something else in terms of shiftiness. There's a very obvious color roll between that red to green. Very pretty. Now it does dry down flat, so I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat. And next is Night Owl Lacquer Magic itself. This is described as a black and purple to burgundy to red to copper multichrome, inspired by the fire element because Lindsay and her husband are Leo and Sagittarius. Price is $13 and there is no cap. So this is a vampy lover's dream, if you ask me. It's got a very multi-chrome factor to it, but because of that vampy deep base color, it's going to take on more of this glowy sort of effect. So I absolutely saw a red and copper glow at extreme angles, and in normal everyday lighting, it's going to take on this more purple to burgundy sort of effect too. Again, really vampy, and it has that really dark sort of inner glow from the multi-chrome shimmer. This dries down flat, so I think any top coat is going to be perfectly fine with it. And Painted Polish brings us Making Waves. This is described as a blue Crowley with a rainbow of glitters. This is inspired by the water element, specifically rainbows dancing on the waves. The price is $11.50 and there's a cap of 325 bottles. So this has a very smooth, creamy formula to it, and it's such a fun Crelly in that I'm really digging these very tiny little glitters, giving you this confetti-like rainbow effect. And the base color is this gorgeous sort of medium, but still very vibrant type of blue. I'm going to suggest 3 light coats on this one as it does build up very nicely. And I think 3 coats help to give it that thickness that I'm always going for and have that nice pond effect of the glitters between your coats. Now this dries on very flat, so you're going to want to finish off with a really good glossy top coat that's just a touch thicker. And Pampered Polishes brings us Goblet of Fire. This is a deeper navy blue jelly loaded with platinum, silver, holographic, and blue flakes and a subtle blue shimmer. This is inspired by its namesake. Price is $12.50 and there is no cap. So this is very much on the jelly side in terms of formula, and for opacity, I'm going to suggest going up to 3 coats. I think that the 3rd coat really helps to bring out that base color true to a very jelly formula, and it does dry down flat, so you're going to want to finish off with a very glossy top coat. Not so much because it has texture or anything. This one dries down really smooth in terms of that, but to get that nice juicy jelly sort of appearance, I'd go in with something very glossy. And Penelope Luz brings us Queen of the Sea. This is described as a turquoise magnetic with a vibrant blue base. This is inspired by the goddess Limanha of the Candomblé region. I very much apologize if I said that wrong and I butchered it. I do apologize. This is going to be 13 and there's a cap of 700 bottles. Now, I'm showing you guys this purposely 3 coats before I magnetize it because I wanted y'all to see what it looked like unmagnetized. This is so pretty. It's a very intense, just glowy type of blue, and you don't even have to use the magnet with it. That's just my opinion. I think it's beautiful without magnetizing it, and you can see on that 3rd coat, it's really intense, very, very pretty. So blue lovers, this is definitely for you. At least I can say that for myself. But when you go in with the magnet, so I'm using the DRK Nails Magic Magnetic Top Coat, and I'm going in generously with it. If I chose to wear this magnetize, I would definitely wear it with magnetizing each layer, as the magnetic particles are on the heavier side. So you can still see it, but if you choose to use the magic top coat or something like that, then you're definitely going to want to go in with quite a bit of that top coat because, again, it's a heavier type of pigment. Either way you wear it, I think it's totally worth it. And Poetry Cowgirl brings us Heat Wave. This is described as a mango yellow orange curly packed with red to orange to gold, shifting shimmer, and green to blue to purple iridescent flakes. This is inspired by weather maps. Price is $13.50 and there is no cap. So before I even saw the description to this, when I was applying it and recording for the video, I was like, well, I really want mangoes now. Like, this is straight up mango yellow. It's very vibrant. It's got just a touch of an orange undertone to it, and the flakes pop very well. Now, you're going to see a touch of your visible nail line if it's prominent like myself at your 2nd coat, but I stopped at the 2nd coat because honestly, this has a really nice squishy factor to it in terms of how it builds, and I didn't want to overbuild it. It does dry down flat, so you're going to want to use a good glossy top coat. And Pretty Beautiful Unlimited brings us Lighter Than Air. This is a pale grayed down lavender curly base with blue to purple to pink shifting shimmer, micro holographic flakes, purple and sapphire micro glitters, and a mix of 5 crystal chameleon flakes. This is inspired by the elemental air dragon. Price is $12 and there's a cap of 200. So this is what I would consider one of those softer sort of very shimmery shades. It's really pretty, and it also has a strong squishy factor. So again, I stopped on this one too at 2 coats because I didn't want to overbuild it. I think this has versatility to also be a topper, but if you wear it on its own, you can see it's a softer sort of color with a really strong shimmery factor. And you're going to want to finish off with a good glossy top coat as it does dry down flat. Now, Pretty Beautiful Unlimited is also bringing us a wax clam this month. This one's going to be 5 with a cap of 50. So the scent to this is very, very pleasant. To my nose, it's got a strong floral scent to it with a light undertone of fruity. But overall, if you enjoy floral scents, this is another one that is really, really pleasant, and again, also has a very strong throw to it. And Rogue Lacquer brings a sticky base coat this month in the shop. This will be 9 without a cap on it, and is a sticky base coat that is infused with water from prickly pear that replenishes, revitalizes, and boosts hydration, while hydrofunctional activities from the coconut and castor bean form a protective cover to the nails. Now, Rogue is also giving us a polish this month too. This is The Planet Needs You and is described as a cool blue curly with red to gold and teal metallic flakes. Price is $12.50 and there is no cap. So this is very pretty and has a beautiful, creamy, smooth formula to it. Very easy to build to opacity. I think 2 coats is going to be perfect for most, and there's no need for fishing, per usual. Those of you who have Rogue polishes, y'all know the drill, that these are very easy to build up and no issues with the flakes whatsoever. Now, this does dry down very flat, so you're going to want to use a good glossy top coat. And Sassy Sauce brings us Whole Lava Love. This is a blue tinted jelly base with a strong glowing red to gold shift, micro red glitter, blue to purple shifting ghost flakes, and a hollow flame. This is inspired by a photo of lava dripping down a volcano with a gorgeous sunset in the background. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of 400 bottles. So this is another really interesting polish. I like polishes that whatever the like interesting component is, whether it's like a glitter or a flaky, I do appreciate when that is exactly what's going to build you up to opacity, and this is it. So these teeny tiny little micro red glitters are what's going to build you up to cover your free edge. And as you can see, it's really, really pretty. I'm digging this one. It's definitely different. And the flakes lay down nice and flat and contrast very well. So for opacity, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on it. This dries down quite flat. So you're going to want to use very good glossy top coat, something a little thicker as well to just kind of seal everything in, as this does have a touch of thirstiness to it. And Supernatural Lacquer brings us the Odds Are Good. This is described as a multi-holographic base with yellow to orange to green color shifting shimmer and flakes. This is inspired by Aeron, the elemental from Chronicles of Riddick. Price is $12.50 and there's a cap of $200. Now this has definite versatility in that you can absolutely wear it as a topper or you can wear it by itself. So if you choose to wear it over a base color, it will be a very dense type of topper. And then if you wear it by itself, I think between 2 and 3 coats is perfect. Though I stopped at 2 coats as it gave me very, very excellent coverage. There's a ton of holographic goodness happening with this one. And the iridescent flakes give you this strong, warm color roll. This dries down flat. So again, I'm going to suggest a glossy top coat. And last but not least, we have Sweet and Sour Lacquer Sparkling Waters. This is described as a purple crelly loaded with orange to copper shimmer, gold metallic flakes, and purple to blue iridescent flakes. This is inspired by a picture of a sparkly ocean. Price is $12.50, and there's a cap of 100 bottles. So this has a somewhat crelly formula to it. It does behave just a touch more on the jelly side in my opinion, but it builds very easy. It has a very smooth formula to it, which I was very pleasantly surprised, especially given just how much goodies are loaded into this polish. So there's quite a bit of a shimmery factor, but also flakies too. And this is one of those dusky type of purples that leans just a touch more vibrant than your traditional dusky, in my opinion. And it's just really, really popping. I'm also going to suggest a good glossy top coat to finish off. Now, because of your tardy queen here, aka yours truly, wish listing is currently open right now, so I'm going to link you guys below to Polish Pickup in case you need to edit your lists, hopefully after seeing this video. And the shop will open up for shopping officially August 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and will run until August 9th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a lot of goodies to see this month, so many pretties. And since we are waiting on the recap of my video here, I will tell you guys what my wish list is looking like. So far, I've got Kathleen & Co. Fiery Sunset, Jayreen Leaving Footprints, Bee's Knees, Fine Make Me Your Villain, Off the Hook Creations cat toy, of course. I have the Hit the Bottle stamping plate on here. I have Trio, if I'm saying that correctly, Lacquer, Sylph Wind. I've got Atomic Polish, Violet Flame. That one looks amazing. And I've also got backups of the 2 waxes that I reviewed this month. So this order is going to be a little larger than what I typically do because I'm mostly always ordering just the nail care stuff, so like cuticle cream and lotion, stuff like that. So I don't typically pick up a whole lot of polish, but this month I think this is one of the larger polish ones I've done. Don't forget to enter my giveaway by leaving a comment below. Let me know if we have similar things on our wish list or completely different, and I will pick 10 of you through a comment picker on this video to win a $10 PPU gift code. Again, the giveaway will close tomorrow, June 5th. So please, please, please don't forget. And I'm also going to put a pinned comment on the post at that time. So I will break all this down below in the description box. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.